Hello and welcome to today's episode of Thrive After 45. I'm Denise Drinkwalter, heart whisperer, midlife mirror, and mentor. And every week I am honored to share energy and space with inspiring guests whose stories reflect so many possibilities of thriving beyond 45. Together, we'll uncover the whispers of the heart, the power of midlife transformation, and the wisdom that fuels expansion. What changes when money stops feeling intimidating and starts feeling understandable? It is an honor and a privilege to welcome Suzette Wheeler to the show today. Suzette brings more than 33 years of experience working at the intersection of finance, strategy, and real world decision making. She spent 3 decades leading financial analysis and business innovation projects for local governments, and since 2013 has worked in a residential and commercial real estate as an advisor, helping individuals and organizations make informed, grounded financial choices. She holds a Master of Business Administration with an emphasis in finance and economics. But what truly defines Suzette's work is her ability to translate complex financial concepts into language people can not only understand, but use and use effectively. As an author and professional speaker, Suzette is dedicated to building financial literacy for the non financially literate, helping people move from confusion and avoidance into clarity and confidence. She is the author of Math Hack Secrets Level Up to Keep More of Your Money. It's a practical guide that's designed to empower everyday people to improve their financial picture without feeling overwhelmed. And since stepping into professional speaking in October of 2025, Suzette has already impacted over 350 lives, and she continues to be invited into associations, conferences, and events to speak on financial literacy as a foundational skill, not just a numbers game. Today, we'll explore what it means to truly understand money, why so many capable people feel stuck around it, and how financial literacy can quietly but powerfully change lives. So wonderful to have you here, Suzette, today. And as I was reading that intro, I'm putting my hand up, going, yeah, that's me. It's not a numbers game. Oh, I hate numbers. It's not my thing. So good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, what is financial literacy? What is that?
Financial literacy is the ability to basically simplify any sort of situation that you come across financially, like with
Yeah.
has to do with grocery shopping, mortgages, car loans, credit cards, and be able to understand it so that you can make wise decisions and save a lot of money and save more of your money.
So, this is brilliant. Thank you for just what our introduction shared. You make the complex understandable. And now all of what I'm thinking about financial literacy makes incredible sense. So
Mhm.
thank you for the work that you do. And I know it's not only for just our audience of women thriving after 45, but I know this will be impactful for children right on through to adulthood.
Oh, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, children that when I was, let's just say, when I was growing up,
Yep.
we had a class called home economics. And
Yep.
yeah, and
Yeah.
not only did we sew pillows, but we learned about financial literacy. we learned about how to balance a checkbook, how to
Mm,
understand credit, how to understand your checking account, how to spend well, how to save more. And those classes, many of those classes are not offered now in high schools or even middle schools, where I had my class in a middle school.
right.
So they're not offered. And so this when I thought about all of this, I said I have to write a book about this because there's so many people that need this. They need to learn how to keep more of their money in their pocket by making these wise decisions, and they may not
Yeah.
have had this class. So this just
Right.
made perfect sense for me.
I love that. In our household, I'm going to shine a little light here that my family might be like, really? You said that? But I'm going to do it anyway. In our household, as the children were growing up, I was known, you had language problem, you wanted to do your language homework, you went to mom. You wanted to do your math homework, you went to dad. Right? That's just what happened in our house in order to get through it as quickly as possible and as functionally as possible with as much understanding as you could, because I always felt I'm not the numbers girl. I don't do numbers. I don't want to do money. Paul, you do money. I have to tell you, though, that has changed over time in terms of me understanding more around money. And I think what's really important in this conversation is particularly for us as women in midlife is if we don't understand and have the foundations, we are going to be left out, quote unquote, in the cold, aren't we? Because
Yeah.
right, there's so many things that if you don't understand the literacy of the finances and understand money and the numbers that are associated, how it all works, there are so many things that can happen in life at any point in time. But our audience being 35 or 45 plus thriving, we need to understand that. And so you talk about in your book about hacks. Are there such things as hacks to understand how this works?
Yes, there's these math hacks, and once you figure these out and start learning these, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I could save. And the Thrive After 45,
Hmm.
I have met in my speeches, I always talk to the people after the speech. There are women
Yes.
who lost their husbands, and their husband was the main financial guy. And now they have to be that financial person to manage their own finances. There's so many things, or divorce, or
Yeah.
any sort of life changes, or you bring in a family member who is disabled or is
Yep.
needs help, and so that changes your whole family finances. There's so many things that could happen that could change your
Right.
life, you know
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
even
And
marriage or remarriage, all of that can change.
1,000%. And it's interesting you say that because we at midlife, there's a lot of things that shift and change in our lives, whether we want them to or not. It can go either way. But yes, totally. And so circumstances are opening up our eyes. Let's try and do it before circumstances might have to arise for us to wake up. How can we do that? Tell us about these hacks. Give us an idea of what's coming up in terms of some ideas from your book that we as listeners can go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that."
Yeah, so I'm pulling up chapter 2, and it
Yep.
talks about percents. And we may have learned about percents in like it had been middle school, maybe even elementary school.
Hmm.
And percents off, like percent, you usually see something that says 20% off,
Hmm.
30% off, 50% off. Got to get this deal if you sign up tomorrow,
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
the list. And you're thinking, great, I got to sign up right away because 20% sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah,
But do you
yeah.
really know what 20% off is? I mean, can you quickly calculate that? This book talks about that, about how to quickly calculate and figure out if a like 20% off of, let's say, $100, so that's $20.
Hmm.
That makes the product $80. Is that really a good deal? Is that a really good deal? Or is there
Right.
something else out there that may not be on sale but is a better deal? And
Right.
you can pick and choose, like a grocery store too, like X% off, or this product is now buy one. Have you seen the buy one get one 50%?
Yes.
How much is it really?
Right.
And so again, it's calculating like if you had $10 and the second one, that would be half off. That'd be half off. That's $5. So the two items together is $15, which means each one is $7.50. So you
Right.
do that quick math, and
Yep.
then you on both sides of that aisle, and the other items for sale is like, well, maybe they're not on sale, but maybe they're $2 cheaper than that. You don't know until you start doing the quick math. And that's
Yeah.
that's the math hack, the percents. You see
Right.
it everywhere. That's a
Yeah.
very important one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some other things in here too, like I go into credit cards and
Mm.
to really understand credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
the interest rate, and making sure that you monitor your interest rate, your minimum payment due. You usually have
Mm-hmm.
a minimum payment due,
Right.
your maximum balance, and then having a plan to pay off that credit card and the other credit cards. So there's actually a method that I teach about reducing your debt overall on credit cards. And I know in the United States, there's a lot of credit card debt. There's people that they don't think about comparing prices, picking the best price, or cutting back on some of their wants and
Right.
their needs, but not buying everything that they see. So
Right.
this is a way to rethink the way you spend as well.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Love that. And
Yeah.
do you find we had this conversation in my house a few days ago about, oh, I'm never, if ever, rarely have cash anymore because everything can just be, oh, you know, ping, 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 ping from my phone, from my watch anymore if I wanted to set it up. Is that dangerous because of ease? Do you find that there's more happening in terms of financial strain because of the ease of which, and people aren't making the connection? This is plastic. Oh, yes, it's going out, but we're really not understanding what are we really doing with our finances in that regard.
Yes, the it's so easy to tap and pay.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to get out of the store with whatever you want. But
Hmm.
one thing about cash,
Yep.
I like using cash. And I like using cash because you can actually watch the money leave your hands and go into the person that is taking your order or purchase.
Hmm.
And if you're out and about and you're buying a hamburger or you're buying something, and if you have cash in your wallet, say, okay, my budget this week, 200 $200, and I'm
Hmm.
going to spend it on, groceries or this or that. And you can
Hmm.
actually watch how your money is leaving your pocketbook. And if you're out of your $200, all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, I need to make another withdrawal. Then you can kind of see that you may be overspending. There might be an opportunity to cut back on that spending. That's why
Right.
cash, because you can actually see it. You can see those expenditures. It's not so easy like a credit card.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Very good.
Yeah.
Um, were there in terms of financial literacy and actually being taught from family or school or whomever, um, how you mentioned that it was happening in home economics, and of course, a lot of times those are completely gone anymore because those are the extras.
Mhm.
And so, where are people going to be getting their information about money, how to spend? Where, obviously, you. But how else can people also start to understand money in a way that they haven't before?
Well, I'm going to be putting a online program together where it walks the person who
Yay!
signs up all the way through the process. And we're going to have some group coaching calls as well, so we can share successes and
Mm.
and talk about that and answer any
Yeah.
questions. Because I have, if you read, the book, you can get a pretty good understanding, but the online is going to make it even easier for someone
Yeah.
to go through that process, because I've noticed, and from I like to talk to a lot of people, and especially the
Hmm.
people that attend my seminars and my groups, that
Right.
how did you learn this? They said, well, we really didn't. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't know. Our parents didn't even know.
Yeah.
Our parents were always in debt. So yeah, it's definitely just trying to get yourself educated in the basics and learn how, like, start at the grocery store. That's the first place to start.
Yeah.
Start comparing prices and things like that. It's amazing what you can save there. And
It's
go
and
ahead.
it's we do it all the time. We're always, it's not like we're going out of our comfort zone. We're not doing a, oh my gosh, I'm going to go buy this big thing over here. How do I create the plan to make that happen? What I'm hearing you say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you still need to do the budget piece for everything. Otherwise, you're going to end up overspending as a
Mhm,
result of not being planned.
mhm. Yeah, so definitely, I have a chapter just on budgets, just on creating
Mm,
your budget, and all
mhm,
sorts of budgets, not just your personal budget, but budgeting for your holiday spending,
mm.
budgeting for, Christmas, Hanukkah, things like that. Budgeting for, well, we have Thanksgiving, but like your national
Yep.
holiday, you're having a big event, budgeting for that and putting your budget together for that is just so important. There is a budgeting set, and I'll offer this little hack. A truly The best kind of budget is
Yep.
one where 50% of the items are needs. So 50% of your budget are needs, things you have to pay:
Mhm.
utilities, rent, car loan, credit
Yep.
cards, things you have to pay.
Hmm.
And then you have a 30%, which is wants. And those wants could be adjusted depending on how big your needs percentage is, because you may be paying more than 50%. Maybe
Right.
you have what you add it all up and it's more like 60%. So your wants are the other things that you want to do, like you want to go to dinner out, go up to dine out, want to go to a movie, want to go to a show, all these things that are wants. And then
Right.
the other 20% is savings, and that should be money that you put aside. I would say at
Yeah.
least 5-10% of your budget should be savings, because you'll be thanking yourself in the future when you have that money, not just for retirement, but have an emergency fund that you set
Yeah.
aside money. So something breaks, your car breaks down, something else happens, your life insurance policy comes due, you have an annual registration due, you can pay for, you have the
Yeah.
money, you're not putting yourself in debt.
Right.
Debt.
Right. Are there any aspects that you talk about in your financial literacy components that talks about investing?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So when you're starting off and you're putting money away, you're usually putting it into like a savings account or a money market account. Then when the money starts growing, then you want to put it into higher interest earning investments.
Hmm.
And that could be, your next step could be a certificate of deposit or some other type of thing. But when you get enough money together, you'll want to start putting that into either a 401k, we have a 401k retirement account,
Hmm.
or some sort of investment account that you can save for your retirement.
Hmm.
And in those cases, that's where a financial advisor comes in.
Right.
And that is a person that can help guide you in that direction. So you have to be really careful about choosing a financial advisor that you have a little
Mm,
bit of safety in there, because it, investments, they can be they can pay wonderful dividends, or they could also lose. So you have a win loss. You have to, based on your risk, the risk that you
right.
into that investment. So yeah, that's
Right.
where financial advisor come in. I sell real estate, and I'm a financial advisor for real estate. So I help
Yep.
people buy and sell, and I look at everything from a financial perspective. So I'm
Sure.
looking at everything that they're buying and selling as, can they make money? How
Right. Okay.
how can they make money? When's a good time to maybe switch this out? Can they? We have a rule called 1031 exchange, where you can save on taxes if you want to trade out real estate, that type of thing. But there's a lot of features there. But yeah, that's
Right.
my specialty. But for investing in like 401k or other types of investment vehicles for retirement, that would be a financial advisor.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. Perfect. Is there anything else that's coming up for you as you mentioned earlier you have when you go in and do your speaking engagements, people will come to you and say, I, I don't know a thing and I'm now single and I've been married for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
What do I do? Is there anything that you can share with us as we get ready to close that you really want to make sure people and women that are listening what is a really good thing instead of pushing the panic button? What can we do instead of pushing the panic button?
I think for if you find yourself in a situation like that, the first thing that you should do is figure out what your budget is. Figure out what your income coming in is, what
Mm-hmm.
it will be, because things will be changing as well.
Of
You'll be
course. Yeah.
receiving other, you know, there maybe if your spouse passed, you'll be receiving income from there possibly, but you have
Right.
to figure out what your budget is. I mean, how much are you spending right now?
Mm-hmm.
And how much money are you bringing in right now? And that may be hard trying to put all that together. I actually have a spreadsheet that I share with the participants when I go out and speak. So if anyone wants that, send me an email and I'll send
Nice.
the spreadsheet. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, figure out what your budget is first and
Yeah.
figure out what your expenses are, because the first thing you're going to want to do is stop the red ink. You're going to want to stop any sort of large expenditure. You may have to cut out some things just to make sure that you're not, you know, spending too much money right
Mm-hmm.
after that. And you may not have ever had to write a check or even deal with a checking account because maybe the husband had it, you know, but when
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
you definitely, that's the first step, is figure out where your income is and what your expenses are, find out where you are right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I think
yeah.
I with what's coming up for me too, which I think is from my thinking is really important. I need women to listen and understand that they need to know that they are not alone on this. There's a reason why Suzette is doing financial literacy. It's not because there's myself sitting in the corner going, I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly, there's a need for this. You are not alone. So don't feel like you can't do it. Don't feel like this is too much. It's there's a lot going on, but it is doable. And that's why Suzette's doing what she's doing because it's out there and you'd be surprised how wide and deep it exists, right?
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I would say, even before any sort of event happens, just
Yeah.
now, if
Yes.
if your husband or wife is doing all the finances, to ask to be able to be included in that so that you can understand what's happening now,
Yeah.
and get educated and say, I really want to learn this. I really want to know, to understand and appreciate what our budget
Mm-hmm.
is, what our income is, and where money's being spent, so that if any unfortunate thing happens, that I'll be okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, start now.
Love that.
Start
And
understanding now.
And you can't really start too young. You really can't. So if you have children and you're like, oh, but they're only 6 and 7, I'm sure Suzette would say there's things you could do, right, Suzette?
Yeah, definitely start. I'd say the grocery store is like your first
Mm,
place, and having them actually work with them on like a savings account and start
yes.
generating one. It could be in your name, but that they're putting their allowance in the savings account,
Yeah.
just something to get them started in understanding money.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Because what we don't want is people freezing and the whole negative connotation around it because we know it's part of life is money in and out, right? It's
Yes.
it's what we have to do.
Mhm.
So in order to do the best for you, by you, because of you, learning all of the pieces that can be scaffolded in a way that makes sense for you, no matter where you are on the continuum of understanding and the financial literacy aspect, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah,
Amazing.
mhm. This is exciting, and I'm excited to hear that, and to know and encourage you to start moving forward on your financial journey. you,
Yeah.
the audience, and start learning about
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, the book is available, and we will have that in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, we have it up on the screen. So if you're not watching on YouTube and you want to see the visual, jump over and check it out. Um, we'll have all of that in the show notes so that we will have ways that you can follow Suzette, connect with her, find out more about this new online course that I'm so happy to be able to spread the news on that.
Oh.
Is there anything, Suzette, you would love to leave our audience with, knowing that they get an opportunity to do this for themselves, by themselves, because of themselves?
Mhm.
Is there anything that you would love to share as a closing point?
Yeah, I say you can do this. You
Mm,
can do this. You can learn this. This is not hard. This is really easy. I
mm.
mean, I learned it in like my dad forced me to learn it in like third and fourth grade because I was failing math. I say I'm not a natural math person. Just saying. So if you're not a natural math person, you can still do this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't natural math. So
yeah,
yeah, definitely I encourage you to do it. This is not hard. This is easy. I break everything down into simple concepts. It's and
yeah.
walk you through it.
And like you shared at the very beginning, it's about understanding. It's about really grasping money, but not for the sake of money itself, but it's for the life that you want to live and you choose to live. And you can live a better life, a more complete life, when you have the deep understanding of your finances, right?
Yes, and a more relaxed life. You won't be so
Mm,
stressed out by saying, I don't understand this or I'm in debt or whatever. If you can understand it and start acting on it, you can
yes.
live a lot more peaceful life, a
Mm.
lot easier life.
And
Definitely.
and who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, so great. Suzette, it's such a wonderful conversation to have with you on such an empowering topic that is doable. You can do it. And Suzette, as you have already witnessed through the listening and watching if you're on YouTube, that she makes it understandable. She breaks it down so that it is doable. And why not do this for you, by you, because of you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Why? Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us. Before we do close, I want to share something very gently. I'm currently stewarding an early formation of a live in person experience, and it's called Ignite the Inner Uprising. And I'm creating it for women in midlife who are ready to deepen their relationship with leadership, with their well being, and with personal sovereignty. There, it isn't something I'm rushing loudly and promoting with bells and whistles. It's really being built slowly with care and deep respect for the women it's meant to serve. So, today's conversation around financial literacy and confidence and clarity, if that has stirred something in you, just know this, that there will be a space to gather and reflect and reconnect more fully with you and who you are. But for now, just stay connected. And when the timing is right, you will absolutely hear more about Ignite the Inner Uprising. And I really encourage you to share, like, follow, give us reviews so that people can hear these incredible conversations, particularly around financial literacy, which is important for all of us worldwide. Thank you for being with us today, and I wish you nothing but the ability to thrive after 45. Thanks again, Suzette.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to share.
Yes. Have a good night, everyone.